When I first started taking pictures back in 1977 with my first single lens reflex, I was going into the Canadian Arctic for the first of what has turned out to be many trips over the course of my lifetime. And I was in love with wilderness travel, I was in love with the Arctic, I was in love with mountains. And I simply wanted a tool to let me try to bring back something that would rekindle that experience for me personally when I got back. Since then I'm still doing that for that reason to some extent, but increasingly over the last 20 years, say, I've been traveling to certain places with the explicit reason of trying to take certain pictures. My current exhibition, Hurricane, and previous exhibition shortly before Christmas called Glacial Flows, Notes for a Requiem, are both united by a concern about global climate change and the effect that global climate change will have on us, our society, and our children. I love these environments. I think they're important to mankind's spirit. Also practically, for example, in the Glacial Flows show recently, if glaciers disappear, our society is in practical difficulties because many of our cities are fed by them. If hurricanes and extreme weather start to dominate the weather, our society is in trouble because our whole society is engineered without the assumption that we'll get these events frequently. And this is changing. If we don't stop dumping carbon into the atmosphere, then this will become the norm, and that will have practical consequences. I've pondered why is it that people haven't risen up and demanded action on this from their politicians. In fact, quite the contrary is the case, that we seem to have told our politicians that we're not really concerned about this, despite recognizing, I think it's pretty much universal now, that global climate change is occurring. Man is creating this, and therefore man can stop it if we can get our act together. So why is it that they don't? And my theory is that people have lost hope. They say to me, oh, I just don't have any hope that we can change this. And I confess, I myself, I lose hope sometimes that we can turn it around. But in fact, the scientists and the people who have studied this question tell us that we have all the technical solutions in hand. We can change this. And I would say to the people who tell me, and I say to the people who tell me they don't have hope that we can change, stop dumping carbon into the atmosphere, I say to those people, do you have hope for your children? Do you have hope for your children? If you have hope for your children's future, it can only be that you have hope that we can change global climate change and stop dumping carbon into the atmosphere. Because if we don't stop dumping carbon into the atmosphere, there is no hope for your children, for our children.